everybody. I hope you are enjoying your day today and just taking some time to remember all of our heroes on this Memorial Day. I designed this painting this morning while just kind of sitting outside enjoying my coffee. I actually thought I was going to take the day off and just, remember our heroes and, just relax. And then this painting design popped into my head and I jumped up and had to paint it. So I wanted to share the painting with you and show you how I did it in case you would like to paint it as well. I really love this design. Obviously it's a take on the American flag, but it's a red and white striped vase with star lilies in it. And I just thought it was a really, really cool design. I first designed it on my iPad. I jumped up and I'm like, oh, let's see what this design is. And then had to pull the paints out and paint it. So let's paint it together if you want. I'll let you know what colors and everything I'm using. So obviously 3 colors only. We're going to use white, blue, and red. So I've got a primary blue here, a true red, and titanium white. And I'm just going to do it again in my 11 by 14 art journal. It's a multimedia journal. So if you want to do this design, you can do it on paper in your art journal, or if you want to do it on canvas, I think this would be a really, really nice painting just to have in your house on Memorial Day and also for 4th of July. I think this is a great little decorative painting for 4th of July. And you could even put it on a big piece of wood and then pop it out on your porch for either holiday. So let's get started. And okay, one of the first things I want to tell you though, if you're going to do it on canvas, paint your whole canvas white with titanium white first, and then let it dry really good. And that's just going to give your acrylic paint something to kind of adhere to. And then also you won't have to paint all this background, white after the design is on, okay? So we're going to be using just like a couple flat brushes. I have a larger flat brush here just to be able to get all of the blue in the background. And then after that, I switched to a smaller flat brush so that I could do the stripes on my vase. And then I have just a detail brush with a nice point. And I think this is either a number 4 or a number 6. So that's for the brushes and the painting. And then I also had added some lines, as you can see. So I did that with Posca acrylic pens or markers, however you want to describe these. So I used a black, and I also had a silver. If you don't have these acrylic pens, that's totally fine. You could outline it with a Sharpie, just a black Sharpie. And you don't necessarily have to put all of the leaves in the background. You could just do the flowers and the vase like this original design was. Okay, so there's lots of different options, but I'm going to show you how I did this painting exactly. So let's get started. I also have a pencil just to kind of lay out on my paper where my design is going to be, and you can use a pencil on your canvas as well if you're going to do paint on your canvas. So the first thing I'm going to do is kind of map out where this blue background is. So here's about the middle of my page, and actually we can map out where the vase is first, because I'm noticing the vase is right at the middle of the page. So let's do that first. So I want here's the middle of my canvas. I want the vase to be, I would say, about this big, because I want the stripes to show. So I'm just going to make a slight curve. I'm not sure if you can see this on the video. And then I'm going to pull the sides down probably to about here. And I'm also going to do the same slight curve that I have up here. And then just kind of connect that. And I'm just doing it lightly, super lightly, so that I know where I'm going to put my vase. And then the second thing we can do is mark off where our square is going to be. So I'm leaving space outside the square. It's framing itself. So I'm going to come in about, what is this? It's about 1.5 inches maybe from the edge. And it doesn't have to be a perfect square. The cool thing about this design is it's really whimsical in its line art and its movement, and so that means no specific straight lines in this particular design. You can get out your ruler if you want, if you're like a super perfectionist. You can do that, but you know what, just have fun with it. So no rulers this time. So I'm just going to pull this box down past the top of the vase, just about here, wherever you want to do that. And now I know where my two elements are going to be. So the first thing I'm going to do is fill in the blue, because I want that to be dry when I add my flowers. And I do have a hairdryer. A hairdryer will help you kind of move this painting along. And you're also going to need your paint to be really, really dry if you're going to use either one of these. I can't talk today for some reason. You want your paint to dry, because these acrylic pens and Sharpies will not work on even a slightly damp surface. So I'm going to pour some blue, and I do have already my plate from creating the demo, so I'm just going to continue to use this plate here. I'm going to pull out my biggest flat brush and get some nice paint on here and get a nice tip on my brush. And then with the flat brush, I'm just going to kind of follow the square, and again, it doesn't have to be a perfect line. That's what I love about this painting. So I'm just going to outline this box. These flat brushes are so nice for pulling lines down. And I'm going to go along my base. And then this is what, and then I'm going to just fill this in here. So I am using a Deco Art Primary Blue, and I think this is one of my favorite blues in this line of paint. You can get this paint at Michael's if you haven't painted with me before. I just use these really inexpensive craft paints that you can get at Michael's, and you know they have coupons and all of that. And I don't mind the brush strokes in this particular background. Now remember, with acrylic paint, You want to get your paint on, but you don't want to stay in one area and really pile it up because it might gum up on you. So, you know, if the paint that you're going to use is slightly transparent, you can just let it dry and then do a second coat if you feel like it. But really, for the background on this painting, you know, even if it's a little transparent and you have brush strokes, I think that will look totally fine. Okay, now I don't want to really saturate this background with paint because I want it to dry and be ready for my white flowers. So I'm just going to hit it with a hair dryer to get that process going. Okay, get that process going, and now I'm going to go to my slightly smaller flat brush, and we're going to be using our red, and this is a True Red by Deco Art. And if you're watching the video or this little tutorial, let me know what you're doing today. Do you have plans with your friends? This is always, you know, a nice family gathering day. Picnics, a lot of people go to the parks. Let me know what you guys are doing. Maybe you're going to be painting this painting shortly. Okay, so what I'm going to do to kind of establish where my stripes are, I'm going to go on this side first, or whatever side you want to start on is fine. And then I'm going to put another one here. And again, if your lines are not super straight, that's totally fine because it's a whimsical, you know, and I don't mean whimsical by haha funny, because this is not, you know, a funny painting, but whimsical meaning, you know, it's not like photorealism, and we're not trying to really make it look like flowers in a vase. It's just the idea of it. So on these stripes, what's going to give you the idea and the perspective that this is round, other than these slight curves here, is that the stripe in front is going to be the biggest one because that's the one you see, and then as they go around the vase, they actually will get smaller. So let's start with the one right in the middle. I'm going to use just the actual width of my flat brush, and I'm just going to pull it straight down. Now, you know what's so interesting? When I did the demo design, the paint did this as well, and I thought that is really kind of a cool effect. So if your brush does that and you want that cool effect, kind of a weathered effect, I think it adds to the design and the idea of the painting, like it's a memory. We're remembering our heroes from in the past. So this kind of, to me, looks like time aging, you know, time, if that makes sense to you. So you can leave that effect if you want. And see how it turns out. I'm just going to fill it in though. So jump on and say hi if you're watching. I'd love to know what people are doing today. Okay, so the first front stripe is going to be the widest. So let's go back to our outside stripes, and I'm going to make this, it's not going to be as wide as this one, so I'm going to go maybe half as wide and kind of establish where the outside of that stripe's going to be. And the same over here. And then I'm just going to fill those in. There we go. Add some more paint onto it. All right. And then we're going to add the stripe that's in between these guys. So I'm going to go right in the middle and pull a stripe down just to kind of establish where it's going to live. And then I'm just going to decide how big it is. So it should be a little bigger than this one, but not as big as this one. But still, you want to keep the effect of that white stripe being like a flag type of stripe, if that made any sense. I have my door open because it's such a gorgeous day, and of course we're going to hear all kinds of neighborhood sounds, including sirens. Oh, but no dog choir. That was interesting. The dogs are sleeping. So even though I am doing this live, if you see this on the replay, go ahead and comment replay so I know you saw it. Just kind of wondering, you know, who sees the videos at the moment, and if our social platform is putting these videos out or kind of squashing them. You never know. You never know what it's up to, if you know what I mean. Hi, Margaret. Hi, Adrian. Hey, nice to see you. Yep, the fire truck's going by. Okay, so I love this. I love it. I love it. I love it so far. And we're done with our flat brushes now. So very cool. So now I'm going to hit this with a hairdryer because we're going to go into our flowers now. we really want this to be, you know, really good and dry because we're going to paint the white flowers, and I don't really want the flowers to be picking up any of these colors, and, you know, I want to keep them really, really pure white for this design. So it feels pretty dry to me, and time for white paint. I'm going to put out a pretty good amount because what I found in painting the first one is I had to do a couple layers of the white paint, which is fine. That was fine to do. So I know that I'll have to do that. So these are the idea of star lilies. So star lilies are, we want them to look kind of like stars, and they're going to have 5 points. So we're switching to this round brush and dipping into the white, and then I'm going to start at the bottom here and then add these rows, and then when we add our black line, that's going to kind of determine who's in front and who's behind. And I'm just going to grab some water to drink. Hold on 1 second. Okay, that lets the paint dry more anyway. Okie dokie. So the first star we're going to put, let's just put him just slightly off center. So you can do like the top, the legs, and the arms. And it's almost like painting a starfish. And I also have a squeaky seat. All the disclaimers. Okay. So once you establish where that flower is going to be, we're just going to pull down the petals. I'm making them wider in the center. Totally like a starfish. Okay. And then the next one, oops, we'll fix that guy there. And you can see the brush strokes, so I will be coming back in and, you know, I want that to be a little more opaque. Okay, so the next guy, where should we put the next guy? Let's put, and they can overlap. They can overlap a little bit, but I don't want them to overlap a whole bunch. So I still want that background blue to show. All right, then we're going to go over here. Let's see, let's pull him down like that. I really love this design. It's so simple, and yet, you know, you get the idea just from looking at it what it is. And you know, you could also add you know, lettering onto it if you wanted, you know, like remembering, or you know what I mean, like any type of beautiful lettering you want. Remembering our heroes. I call the painting Remembrance. And you can make your flowers any size you want. Trying not to make that paint too gloppy because I do want it to dry really well before I use the pens and do the outlines. This is such a, it's just so calming to paint, especially when you know you're painting a painting that you're not trying to be perfect, you're having fun with the painting, and it's just like, it's just a vacation for your mind, you know? It's just really enjoyable. And then at the end you're gonna just have something that you're proud of. And you also don't have to overlap your flowers if you don't want to, you know? Experiment with your own design and your own style. A lot of jets. I'm surprised I haven't heard the airplanes go over with the missing man formation. They always go over, and that's always quite a sight. That always makes me sad. It's very emotional to see. Oop. Let's fix this guy a little bit. So peaceful. And we'll have one down here.
When I was a kid, my favorite thing to draw was these stars. Stars everywhere. Stars all over my homework. I think it was just the calming, the calming movement over and over and over. Stars when I'm on the phone, all over paper. Of course, then it became horses for me. But doodles. Do any of you guys doodle when you're on the phone? Like, phone doodles can be a very elaborate thing. But you literally have to be on the phone, because there's something about being on the phone, talking to someone, because you have to be present for the conversation. So it's like the other side of your brain is just happily playing. It's like a little kid playing on the paper. And it's just so cool how elaborate phone doodles can become. I've gotten off the phone with friends having really no idea that I was drawing, because I was in the conversation, and then I'd hang up and go, wow, that's kind of elaborate. Okay, I think that's how many stars I'm going to have. So I'm going to rinse my brush and hit this with a hairdryer as well. So if you don't have a silver acrylic marker, you can also do this next part, the leaves and the stems, with like, what are these things called? I forget what these are called. They're like ballpoint pens, and they're can someone help me what these are called? They're like, what are they called? They make, I have no words. I forget what these are called. But if you have these, you can use these for your leaves if you don't have a silver marker. But if you don't have anything like this, you can see right now how pretty much strong this design is without the leaves in the background. So at this point, you could just start using your black marker and outline it. But I'm going to add the leaves on it, because I want to show you how to do that. So I'm going to use my silver marker. If you've never used one of these, you have to shake them up, and then you start the tip, and you got to make sure that they're not going to just explode paint all over everything. So I'm going to now add like movement with these leaves. So let's just start, let's put a leaf here. And they have lines. And then let's put one up here. This is fun. Let's put one here. Make any kind of leaves that you want. So you can see how I'm changing kind of the flow, just to give it some visual interest.
give this guy a stem. And if you're doing it, just enjoy the process. Just have fun with it. You can't mess it up. So funny, I had the very specific intentions last night when I went to bed that I was going to take the day off and enjoy myself, and I guess this is what taking the day off looks like. There is no day off for an artist or creativity, but I am very much enjoying myself, and that is what it's all about, and that's what I want for you guys too. Okay, we'll put some stems in here. Love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And then we're going to outline it in black. So if you don't have a black acrylic marker, you can always use a Sharpie. I'm going to make sure this is all dry before we go to our black outline. Hi, Cindy. Thank you. Oh, and I see that Margaret sent me 200 stars. Thank you, Margaret. And isn't that fun and appropriate that I'm like, I love stars, and then she sent me stars. So that's very, very sweet. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yay, stars. Stars are good. Okay, I'm switching to my black acrylic marker, making sure this is dry, because again, these will be very, very fussy and will not work even if it's slightly wet, and neither will a Sharpie. Okay, so now what we're going to do on this part, and this is the last part, is we're going to kind of establish depth in these flowers by choosing who's in front and who's behind. All right, so that's totally your choice. I want it to kind of look like it's a round bouquet, so I think I'm going to start with this guy first. And in outlining them, you don't have to be precious with your lines. So if you can see here, I did it fast, and some of my paint is out. You know, I'm not following it really specifically. You can if you want, if you like that. For this particular painting, I purposely did not specifically follow lines, again, to get that more whimsical effect in the design. So I'm going to start with this guy, and I'm just going to go around him. And then I'm going to do, you can do 3 or 5 of these little dots in the middle. It's like they're little pollen things in the middle. Is that a good description? They're pollen things. And then I'm going to choose this guy to be out front. Let's see, who else should be out front? This guy. Let's see, this one. And you know, if you don't have markers or Sharpies or anything like that, you can take a small detail brush and outline them in black paint. And just take your time and enjoy the process. Okay, and then I can go back now with these other ones and outline them, and they're tucked behind the front guys. And you can also kind of dictate where your flower is facing by where you place the little collection of black pollen dots. Oh, I love this. I love this design. Okay, now I'm going to outline the vase. So I'm going to start at the top. It's so interesting being a designer. Like, where do these ideas come from? You know, I was sitting in my yard with my coffee. I had just seen my friend Adrian's post that she was outside painting, and it was just so inspiring to me, and there's such a beautiful day here, and I'm like, yeah, maybe I should just paint for fun, and boom, this idea popped right into my head. So I guess that was the answer to that. All right, so the final move I'm going to do here is I'm going to outline the square in the back, and just my choice. I'm not going to do a solid line. I'm going to kind of break it up, and it's not going to be totally straight and perfect. And that again is just gives you more of a whimsical feeling and some movement to the design. And you can also add, you know, 2 little lines at the bottom here if you want to kind of suggest that it's sitting on a table. Oh, in fact, I just got an idea. Okay, I'm going to see if this works. There. I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that. I actually, that's cool. We've got this original, and I like this one. I really, I think that kind of finished it off. And then I'm going to sign it. there you have it. A wonderful painting that has a patriotic feel that you can do today just to be kind of in the mood of the holiday and taking time to enjoy your day painting, but also remembering our heroes. And also you have a painting that you can do for the 4th of July coming up. And you could do it on wood for your porch. You could do it on canvas and hang it up. And yeah, there it is. Thank you for watching me. I hope you have a really relaxing, beautiful day, remembering our heroes. And if you paint this at some point, please share it. I would love to see it. Share it in the comments if you can, or wherever. Share it on my page. Okay, everybody take care, and you know I will be back soon. Okay, bye.